from the mill up and guided, and according to the captain, guided the pace of the mill.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the Delaware County Commissioners meeting to order. It is Monday, March 18th, 2024. The time is 9:03. If you could please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ed, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry. Here. Mr. King.
Here.
Mr. Reagan.
Present.
Mr. Brook. Here.
I'd like to start off and I'd like to thank all the public safety officers that went to Selma on Thursday night for that tragic incident. Also, the public that has responded in a great way for all the citizens in Selma, not only in Selma, but also in Winchester. I would like to ask our EMA Director, John Catino, could you come up and give us a brief update?
Morning, Commissioners. John Catino, Emergency Management Director. You'll have to forgive me. I think during all this, I've developed a sinus infection and been fighting with it. Little sleep and busyness. So, in your packets, I gave you just kind of an incident report, a breakdown of things that my office, along with the other public safety officials, have come up with, damage assessment reports, a time frame, and I've highlighted a couple things on the front page just to draw your attention to. Excuse me. As everybody knows, emergency management is all about preparedness. I preach on it every time I go into the public setting. Preparedness is key, especially in events like this. With that being said, the first thing I have highlighted is Thursday, March 14th at 5:14 p.m. That's when my office saw the tornado watch issued, and that's when we started watching this weather system move into our area. Sometime between there and the next highlighted bullet point, which is 7:21, I received a call from Jamie Burrows, who's the fire chief in East Madison Fire Territory, who just had the storm come through his system, said, hey, this storm's coming through, it's getting ready to enter your county. On the back end, it's starting to drop, and it's looking pretty nasty. So, obviously, we were really weather aware at that time. 7:21 is when National Weather Service issued a tornado warning for our county. At 7:23, 2 minutes later, the siren sounded. National Weather Service listed the tornado time as 7:37, so that's 14 minutes notification, which is ideal because the ideal time for FEMA is 10 to 15 minutes. So we're at the higher end of that, which personally I'm very proud of that we were able to watch this system come in and early warn everybody in the area, which I think helped contribute to the obviously the absence of life lost. So that's huge in our opinion. The last thing that's highlighted there is 8 p.m. That's when we had a fully staffed, activated EOC. So that's less than an hour, 40 minutes from tornado time. Actually, if you go from tornado time, it's less than 20 minutes. But from siren warning to EOC activation was 40 minutes. We were staffed in the EOC. Commissioner Henry was in attendance, Chief Deputy Stanley, myself, my staff, EMA volunteer group, EMS, Indiana Michigan Power, Delaware County Highway, City Police Department, and City Street Department, all in the EOC working together to mitigate the situation that we had at hand. You also see a preliminary damage, structure damage report from our guys who go out. They went out Friday morning. We have drone footage first thing in the morning at 8 o'clock, and then we went back again in the afternoon and did more drone footage. So currently, as it stands, we have 6 destroyed structures. And I'll remind you too, this is primarily for Selma. This doesn't include the area up by Roriton, who had a lot of hail damage up there. Those reports came in by public submission. 6 destroyed, 13 major damage, 14 minor damage, 32 affected, and then a 58 total hail damage reports from the public. again, I'm not gonna go through all of this stuff, but you guys can read through this. It's got a National Weather Service report attached to it, along with pictures for you guys to see, and a map showing the path of the tornado. The one thing that I will, I'm pretty proud of is the fact that our EOC all stood up, mitigated the Selma situation, stabilized it, and was still able to send responders to Randolph County, the Winchester area, to help them in their struggles. So these are preliminary too, because I know that not all officers called on duty when they went out there, but from everybody that showed up on the CAD, there were 29 MPD officers. This was in response to Selma. 29 MPD officers, 27 Delaware County Sheriff's officers, 6 Gaston, 1 Delville, 9 Eaton, 3 Albany, 7 from Selma. A total of 82 officers reported to Selma to help in the recovery efforts over there. And again, I know that number is probably low because there were some that didn't get put on the call or call on duty. They just showed up. I know that we sent at least a half a dozen fire apparatus to Winchester, at least 40 to 50 officers to Winchester. Captain Greg Michael, Delaware County EMS, was able to spin up the EMS element lead in a matter of, I think, 30 minutes. They had 40 ambulances from within the district sent to Randolph County's St. Vincent's Hospital and staged ready to transport patients from the hospital and the nursing home that was struck. We did send 2 buses from MITS over there to help with the evacuation as well. That was a request that came in. And then, I'm trying to think, Commissioner Henry, can you think of what, we did have another fire strike team ready to go. They are staged at EMS Station 3, 3 engines and a BC ready to go. I know Muncie Fire sent their rescue. Yorktown sent their rescue, structural collapse rescue to Winchester.
There's several volunteer fire departments. We had several wheelchair vans from Eaton EMTs. It all worked good.
It did. In the EOC, we would refer to that as an area command. So Chief Deputy Stanley was in charge of all the law enforcement officers. Caleb Halsma, who came in, he's the fire chief in Albany. He handled all the fire response agencies. Obviously, EMS handled all the EMS agencies that came in, and then I had 2 volunteers that ran the scribe side of it, and also our volunteers who were going out blocking roads. And then myself as the incident commander, and my deputy director, Corey's the operations chief. And it all worked smoothly. Everybody handled what they needed to handle, good information sharing, and a good response on everybody's part, in my opinion. So I can answer any questions that anybody might have. If not, we are meeting with the state damage assessment team today at 9. So we're going to go out to Selma right now and meet with their town board and see what we can do to get them some help and some assistance. So we'll have that as well.
Thank you, John. I just want to thank you and all the people that responded Thursday night. It was a major incident for both counties, and our guys did a tremendous job. There was communications problems that occurred over in Randolph County. We did send one of our new communication vehicles that dispatch used, and we did send that to Randolph County that night, which did assist in helping our guys communicate back with the guys in the EOC. So everything worked out good, and you guys did an amazing job. So thank you.
And I did forget, Director Cummings from 911, he was in the EOC with us, and it was great because he had a runner. Essentially, I think they had 7 additional dispatchers come in that night, which made it great for us because they were able to supply a runner to go from the EOC to the 911 center to share information with us. Hey, we're getting these calls, we're getting this report, and it makes it easy for us. We're not searching for this information. We have it coming right to us. So yeah, it was a great effort all the way around from everybody.
There will be a large amount of overtime because of this, but a lot of those people didn't get called in.
Yeah,
a lot of those people came because that's what they do.
Yeah.
All the law enforcement agencies, I mean, a lot of people just came, dispatchers just showed up at work.
Yeah.
And they didn't get called, they showed up to help, and that's what they do. So thanks to all those people.
9 years of me being in this position or in EMA here in Delaware County. Luckily, this is the first tornado that I've had to deal with, and hopefully it's the last one for a little bit. But Director Thacker, who's the IDHS director over the EOC, came and visited us I think Friday morning, and had nothing but great to say. Essentially, he called it textbook, which is excited for me because that means that we followed all the cues that we needed to and hit it to make it a successful, for lack of better terms, event. So I commend everybody that was in the EOC and responded. It worked out amazing.
John, appreciate all the work, of course, and the sirens are the old-fashioned way. Would you please explain how people can get it on their iPhone?
So there's a couple, there's a ton of weather apps out there. The big thing that we push is don't rely on the tornado sirens. Yes, they do work, but they're just that. They're outdoor warning sirens,
Right.
and we got to remember that. They're for outdoor recreation use. That's why they're located around parks and schools and things like that, because you can't rely on that in the middle of the night when it's storming and thundering to hear a siren. So there's weather radios that we get. The NOAA weather radios are about $20. You can get them on Amazon, and they work great. We actually have some in our EOC in the 911 center. So we recommend those, and any National Weather Service alert that goes out that's not a subscription. It just goes to your phone, regardless. So usually if you're somewhere, I know I was talking to Rick Spangler earlier, and he said they were in an event, and at the same time, everybody's phone started going off. So
On second floor.
so yeah,
That's
so
scary.
it's pretty important to keep that stuff. So yeah, and we can sign up for Nixle. If you go to our dcema.com page, there's a Nixle link there for you to sign up for Nixle. It's free, unless your phone carrier doesn't support that kind of stuff, but there may be a small charge for it. But we're pretty quick to get this information out. As you can see by the timeline, 5 o'clock, we're starting to watch this thing because we know it's coming. So we're pretty good about getting that information out there. We'll only send out stuff just for your public's knowledge. We only send out alarms or alerts for warnings, primarily tornado warnings. But we do post on our Facebook page a lot of the watches and stuff just to keep you weather aware. That's the best advice that I can give everybody is when you know there's a chance, don't just think, oh, there's a tornado warning, we got it now, and nothing's happened in 10 minutes. It's good to go back outside. But, our goal is to get a warning out 15 minutes prior to the event. So if you get the warning, and you take shelter, stay in that shelter for at least 20 minutes. Because we're trying to push to get longer reaction time, or warning time, I should say. So
Those guys were out, and it's interesting that night. Actually, Greg and Mike were two of the first ones on scene in Selma because they were out. They were out with the EMA guys trying to follow this and find this. And Greg actually has video with the tornado on the ground, and he's following the tornado.
yeah, I think we had 15 of our volunteers out as soon as the tornado watch went out, which several of our guys are ham radio operators or storm spotters through National Weather Service. So they go out too, and we had probably 15 guys already out and about watching from various locations this system come into Delaware County. So that is a key part of the early warning. So that really helped us out.
Good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Sheriff or Chief Deputy, would you guys want to update from your law enforcement side, or?
I think John mentioned everything that we were involved with, so it was quite a team effort. Thank you.
Mike, would you like to speak?
Mike Ashley, Director, Delaware County EMS. I just want to give a huge thank you to all the EMS agencies, police, fire as well, and the County Highway Department, elected officials. It really showed the systems we have in place for mutual aid and quick activation. I mean, I got to thank Gaston, Daleville, Eaton, Muncie Fire, and they all came together quickly, and we had a lot of assets available. So Shannon mentioned Greg and I were actually following the storm, ended up in Selma right after it happened, which gave us a huge benefit and being able to coordinate some things quickly. But what people don't realize is the people in the background, Captain Larry Krause was also in contact with us, knew had been hit. He went straight to the station did a full recall of our department. And within 20 minutes, we had enough people to, besides our normal staffing for 911, to staff 3 additional ALS ambulances. We staffed our Task Force 6 trailer, which is a mass casualty trailer that can take care of about 100 people it's a truck and trailer. And we also have the district, box truck, which is, we kind of lease the truck itself to the Healthcare Coalition. What the Healthcare Coalition is, we're all members of it. It's the hospitals, all EMS agencies and health departments within District 6, which is 13 counties. Greg Michael, my deputy director, is the EMS commander for that element for all the 13 counties. So once we kind of sorted through Selma with the help of the police and fire and everything, we realized we luckily just had some minor injuries, is when the call came in from Winchester. And it was real spotty information at that point because the communications were horrible. Their 911 center was affected, but we knew that their hospital was affected. They knew they had at least 40 injuries, probably more. They were calling a mass casualty. We knew a nursing home was involved. So Greg, being the District 6 EMS commander, put out calls in the district to get help. I was able to send 3 ALS ambulances, the mass casualty trailer, and the box truck immediately to the hospital in Winchester. We also had our med staff fully staffed and our hazmat truck fully staffed, and which we ended up not having to need, thank goodness. But once those units got on scene in Winchester, Lieutenant Swoboda and Captain Pat Williams took charge of triage with the ER doctor there, and also organized all the assets that came in. We had about over 25 ambulances from all these 13 counties that came together. They had 38 patients at that point in the ER, most of them serious, and they were able to sort those people out, start loading them in ambulances. They took them to Henry County Hospital, back to Ball Hospital. A lot of them went to Reed Hospital. I had 2 trucks on the scene of structural collapse. Took about 3 hours to extricate those people. They were both serious to critical condition. And my guys actually, since the other hospitals are filling up, transported them to Miami Valley Hospital in Dayton. So I can't thank everybody enough that came together, not only agencies, but I'm so proud of my guys that didn't even hesitate to come in. And with all that said, and all the assets we sent to Winchester, we still kept a full staff here for 911 calls. That don't stop no matter what else is going on in the world. So I just want to give a huge thank you to everybody, elected officials. EOC ran perfectly. We didn't have any issues, no problem. Everybody worked together real well. So it was just a good thing. So I just want to give a big thank you. There's a lot more I'm missing, but I just wanted to kind of focus on the EMS part for those guys. So
Thank you, Mike,
thank you.
for everything you guys do. I'd also like to thank a lot of the smaller towns, the city, Muncie Sanitary District, for loading up equipment to go out there and help clean this area up. It just, to see the community come together like they have, it's just a great thing. Never wanted this disaster, but to watch everybody, the way they came together, the way different organizations has got water, food, everything for these citizens, it's great to see our community. And, not only that, everybody knows the Wapahani Raiders won semi-state Saturday,
Yeah.
but the parents have to be very, very proud of these young men. They won Saturday night and was out in their area cleaning up. So those young men. And with that being said, John, we're gonna need you to do a, declaration for emergency for that area. We can go ahead and pass that today, can't we, and then have you type?
Yeah, I was working on it right here. Just make a motion, have a second vote on, and then I'll send you, probably towards the end of the meeting, a draft resolution. Okay?
I'll make a motion, we, adopt a disaster declaration.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll move on to our appointments. Visitors Bureau, we have Heidi Hale.
Yes, she's been on there before and done a very nice job, and I'd like to put her back on there, so move.
I'll second that motion.
Have a motion and a second. Ed, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes. Next, we move on to table business. I know we're gonna keep resolution 2024. Well, we passed it. We will have the public hearing, correct, John, on
The
our
notice,
meeting in April?
notice has been published, right?
Okay. The approval of, February 5th and 20th and the 4th, I just received those today.
Mr. President, I would request, here's the minutes from those meetings. I would request that we table those. I just got them this morning and I would like time to look through them, please.
John, Ms. Brooke, I'd like for you to, when you were a commissioner, I forget what year it was, but
Long time ago.
when you served well, and the minutes back then were verbatim. Nowadays, we have Facebook and whatnot, so for our record, do we just need to, or would you explain what we need?
Well, minutes don't have to be verbatim. Minutes can be basically a summary, and it should be not just one or two sentences, but a summary of what the action was, what the debate was, what the discussion was, so that it refreshes all your memory and serves as a permanent record.
Like a bullet?
Well, it could be bullet points, it could be, just a couple, 3 paragraphs, as long as it summarizes what the debate was, what the action was, what the discussion was, so that people in the future can understand what the reasons and the rationale was, because this board, like any other board, speaks through its minutes. Its minutes serve as foundation for whatever action is taken. So it doesn't have to be verbatim, it doesn't have to be this guy said this, that guy said this, is that here were the, so-and-so had this objection, Commissioner Reagan had this comment, that sort of thing, and then it summarizes and finalized with the motion, second, and the roll call vote.
Thank you.
I'd make a motion to table the February 20th, February 5th, and March 4th minutes. Next meeting.
Well,
Your February 5th and 20th minutes are already on the table. You want to keep them on the table?
I want to keep
You just
those
want
on the
to
table
move
and,
to table the March 4th ones, right?
okay, I'll make that motion.
second.
Have a motion and a second. Ed, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
King,
Yes. Next, we'll move down to LPA consulting contract. Angie?
Good morning, Commissioners. This is a standard NDOT boilerplate contract. This is for full-time construction inspection services for Bridge 193. We are doing a superstructure replacement. This bridge is located on Memorial Drive at White River. We go to letting in July, so we need to get this contract fully executed so inspection services can start as soon as possible once the project is let. The contract's for a not-to-exceed amount of $514,000 with an 80% reimbursement. So our local match is $102,800.
And this would be a good time to add, aren't they gonna leave one?
Yes, each direction will be open to allow for traffic, so we will not be closing the bridge during construction.
Thank you.
It's on Memorial Drive over White River, correct?
Correct.
I'll make a motion, we approve that contract.
Second.
I did have a chance to look at that, and it's standard contract, so.
Ed, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have agreement for consulting services. Mr. Carroll?
yeah, this is, agreement, Charlie Richmond is currently, our chief deputy. He's gonna be leaving, so we're asking the commissioners to allow us to continue to work with him after he leaves. He's done a lot of things in our office, there's still some things we're gonna need access to, so he's gonna have information we're gonna need, so that's what this request is for.
I took a look at this one also, and this is pretty standard. I didn't see any problem with it.
Okay.
$35 an hour is a very good bargain for all his knowledge. I move we adopt.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Ed, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes. Next, we'll move to ordinances for approval. Ordinance number 2024-003, being an ordinance to amend the Delaware County Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance. Dawson. Morning.
Yes, my name is Cheryl Dawson. I live at 4214 West State Road 28, and that's Muncie. It's located at State Road 28 and Wheeling Avenue. I applied to rezone the front field of that parcel. It was my grandparents' farm. And there's two fields. The back field is zone farming, but the front field, my mother rezoned in the 1970s for business variety or variety business and a mobile home park, which she never did. And I don't want that. I don't want to do a mobile home park there. And I'm trying to clean up some of my farm parcels. And I want to join some of them that really probably should have been joined back in the 70s. So I'm rezoning that front field of my grandparents' farm back to farming.
Any questions?
So this is the first,
This is the first reading.
Nope, you've already had a hearing at the
Already went through
planning
the,
commission, didn't you? So this would be
planning
second
commission
reading.
would be
second, so
Yep.
we can adopt it today then.
This was a favorable recommendation, correct?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion, we approve or I guess adopt ordinance 2024-003.
Second,
have a motion and a second for adoption. Ed, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
yes,
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay,
congratulations.
Thank you.
Next, we have ordinance number 2024-004, being an ordinance to amend the Delaware County Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance. Barbara?
Good morning, my name is Kathy Van Ice, and I'm from Ashton Land Surveyor, from 325 West Washington Street here in Muncie. What we're doing on this project is we have a parcel of land that has been platted, and it's just the north part, which is a lot 1, it's a 1 acre piece that we are rezoning from an R3 zone to farming so that it can be combined with a parcel to the west. The people who purchased this lot 1 own to the west. They also own to the south too, but they have intention of building a house on the west side, and this would be their only access to County Road 500 East. So that's the reason they're purchasing it, to be combined.
Is favorable also.
This was also favorable.
Yes.
Pleasure of the commissioners.
I approve as presented.
I'll second the adoption.
Have a motion and a second for adoption. Ed, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes,
Mr. Henry.
Next, we have ordinance number 2024-005, an ordinance creating a new fund for grant-funded overtime for the Delaware County Sheriff's Department.
This is the, Kevin, I was gonna say, this is for the JAG grant that he mentioned back in February. This is to set up the fund. He has the check, so we would ask that commissioners introduce it, suspend the rules, and adopt it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to take your thunder, Captain, but,
Quite all right.
Do you have anything to add?
No, I think he pretty much covered it all. Thank you.
I'll make a motion, we introduce ordinance number 2024-005, JAG grant.
second,
Have a motion and a second. Ed, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
yes,
Mr. Henry.
Yes. I'll make a motion, we suspend the rules.
second,
Have a motion for suspension of the rules. Ed, can you call the roll?
Mr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
yes,
Mr. Henry.
Yes. I'll make a motion, we adopt the ordinance.
second,
Have a motion and a second for adoption. Ed, can you call the roll?
Mr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
yes,
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll move to resolutions for approval. Resolution number 2024-002, a resolution of Delaware County, Indiana Board of Commissioners declaring an emergency for the repair of bridge in the county?
This is for bridge number 51, I think it's
Yes.
over on 900 West, or McGuire in 332. That it didn't actually have a collapse, it had a hole in it that needed to be repaired so that vehicular traffic could go on it. Trucks are restricted, Angie can fill you in any particulars, but the bridge will be set for rehab sometime with the state in 2025 or 2026, isn't it?
26, isn't it?
We're gonna try to see if we can get it moved up if funding is available, but I have that phone call today, so hopefully we'll have some good news on that.
You want to talk about it a little bit so people know what happened?
Sure, early Saturday morning on March 9th, I got a call that a large hole appeared in the deck, pulled up about approximately 4 foot in diameter. And, everyone was immediately out there, the highway department, commissioners got a hold of me, I met out there with my engineer. It was pitch black, of course, that early in the morning. So we did our best initial inspection, then we came back out later that day to do a more full inspection. And they did come up with a recommendation for repairs. Hopefully we'll have the bridge open in a few weeks to, passenger vehicles only. We're not gonna allow trucks until the rehab is complete. So we will also set a 3-ton load restriction until the full rehab can be completed.
How often do the bridges, just for the public, how often do the bridges get inspected?
A minimum of every 2 years, unless like an old metal truss bridge is a fracture critical, might require a 3-month or 6-month inspection. So, but yeah, by any bridge 20 feet or longer in span is required to be inspected every 2 years.
I did look this one up, and I think it was inspected in January of 2023.
Yes. I applied for a grant back in 2021, knowing we need to do a deck replacement, and it's just how the budgeting works with the state, that's as soon as we can get it scheduled, but
How many bridges do we have?
195, very large bridges, we span White River and Mississinawa, so.
Yeah, so the county's responsible for all the bridges in Delaware County, including the city of Muncie. So, it's quite a large undertaking to have those all inspected, but we do that, according to, state law and federal. And, so anyway, this is one that it just happened, it had been inspected, but we had some issues with it. So,
I think between the quick freeze and thaw we had this winter, and the large trucks, just
Yeah.
pull through, and I hate it, and we're trying to, everyone's on board to get this expedited as quickly as possible, so I appreciate all your support.
And to build a new bridge or even to repair these bridges it's very, very expensive. And I know we went to the council a year or two ago, got a penny back, but we could go up to 10 cents actually. But what a lot of people don't understand that when we go taking those funds, that reduces the general fund also. And just that penny was $300 and some $1,000. But like you just said, to repair one of the decks is over $500,000. So, we do with what we can. We've used edit funds to repair bridges. We've used TIF dollars to
Grants.
whatever we
look at
can do.
flood funding any way we possibly can, but we don't get enough in 1 year in Cume Bridge, just on the average bridge rehab.
And we apply every year for community crossing grants. 1 year's for a bridge, 1 year's for roads, next year's for a bridge. So, we want the public to know that we use whatever resources that we can find to take care of these bridges. But it's hard when a bridge can cost you $1.2 million or
Well, for example,
500,000.
Memorial Bridge is estimated over 4 million,
Yeah, so,
just for the public to know.
I'll make a motion, we approve the resolution 2024-002, declaring that situation emergency with that bridge repair.
Second,
a motion is second. Ed, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
yes,
Ms. Henry.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
Next, we have resolution number 2024-003, a resolution of the Delaware County, Indiana Board of Commissioners identifying certain properties to be transferred to a nonprofit entity pursuant to Indiana Code 6-1 1-24-6.7 and Indiana Code 36-1-11-1.
This is the resolution for the, request from the Muncie Land Bank. There's been, I attached a list, but I don't think that list is accurate, so I'd ask that you table this so that we could approve it. You can approve it on the first, then I can have, an actual list. I'll talk with Mr. Howard and we'll get this, up and going, okay?
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to table. Ed, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Ms. Henry.
Yes.
Next, we'll move to department heads and elected officials. Does anybody have anything?
I just, real quick, Mr. President, if you don't mind, want to remind everybody of the eclipse coming April 8th. There is a good read. I think John had it put on, our Facebook page, an article from a lady in Ohio who went to Kentucky at one point during an eclipse. But they talk about how many people will, flood into this area on April 8th, which, if it's sunny, which may make it, during the eclipse, your cell phones may not work due to the number of people who will be here on their cell phones recording, taking pictures. They talk about what normally would be a 10-minute drive, maybe an hour-long drive due to the amount of traffic on the roadways. So I want everybody to just be ready for that. There could potentially be a large number of people that are in our community, that flood the community because of the eclipse. Everyone should take it seriously and just be prepared for it. I don't want to say we could hope for rain and we would be fine, but I want everybody to prepare because we do not know what that day brings. We only know what history has given us throughout the years and other areas where the eclipse has taken place. So just if you find a good article, read it. There was one that I'll make sure is posted on our Facebook page. Again, it's a short read, but it's just a normal person who drove down to Kentucky to try to see the eclipse and ran into a ton of problems. So just everybody, please be prepared for that.
And they also are urging, if you have a nonprofit that is having any kind of thing, just to cancel it for that afternoon, because it's just going to be gridlock. And I'm sure Delville's going to be ready for it. But I was thinking about a storm. If we were to have bad weather, I'm sure John's going to be working extra.
The Emergency Operations Center will be up and running starting at 8 a.m. that day.
And I'm trying to think of downtown.
So EMS is preparing for it. We are preparing for it at the county level, but the citizens of Delaware County should prepare for it as well.
We are closing at noon here at the county building.
And
so
we may want to take a look at that as well, because I don't know that noon will get our people out of here in time. So I'd like to take another look at that.
If it starts at 1:05 p.m., when it starts, people are gonna wanna be setting ready 2 or 3 hours early. So I'm having a big hiccup.
But I think we ought to take a serious look at
Well,
that.
that's the
I don't know
idea.
what we need to look at, because, I mean, with the flow of traffic that's gonna be in and out of here,
I thought noon
like
was good
Sherry said,
3 months ago when we set that, but
Delville, we're on I-69, 67, and 32, so I mean, we're gonna have people coming off the interstate, filling our parking lots and everything else up. And you are right, when I started looking at stuff from like Kentucky and everything, maybe a 10-minute drive is taking people 2 hours to get through.
Yeah.
So
we had a testimony at our fair board meeting that someone went down to Kentucky, and what's usually a 4-hour, it was a 12-hour. And when you got off to use the restrooms or to get a bite to eat, you were in line. So
I know we have EMS people, we're calling more people in for EMS, we're calling more people in for dispatch. I've talked to, the highway superintendent about the possibility of having just a small crew on staff there in the event we need them. But I think I would just go ahead and make a motion that we close the building that day. And we are gonna have staff around, but I don't know that, as it gets closer and I start hearing more and gathering more information, I don't know that it would be a good idea just to close that day.
Well,
I'll make that motion.
I'll
to close
second
that
it.
day.
Have a motion and a second to close on April 8th. Ed, can you, call the roll, please?
Ms. Henry,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
yes.
Ms. King,
Yes.
And I'd like to ask Tony, or Sheriff Skinner, at one time, I believe the sheriff department had 2 motorcycles, or I don't know how many you still do. So any motorcycle, electric bikes would be real handy for getting people somewhere. I thought about using the Cardinal Greenway, coming and going. It's gonna be bad. So we want everybody to be safe.
I don't know.
We're trying to get our friends to stay all night. They're supposedly coming in on Fridays, a lot of them. And, the hotels are already very full. There's a few that have, openings, but,
I want to make it clear that we don't want cars on the
Yeah,
Cardinal
no cars
Greenway.
on
No
Cardinal.
cars on the
no,
Greenway.
no, my
No
bicycle.
Yeah.
I think people
Well,
know that.
you said getting people in and out and
Well,
using the motorcycle, it was like, we wanna
No.
make sure we don't want cars on the Cardinal
no, we
Greenway
don't
or
want,
on the
no,
trails.
I'm sorry, but my bicycle, yeah. But anyway, it's just, it's gonna be an event, but, it's gonna be a nightmare too, maybe,
Are you guys, you want me to send an email?
Send an email out that the buildings will be closed that day.
yeah.
Next, we'll go to payment of claims in the amount of $832,978.02.
So move,
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Ed, can you call the roll, please?
Ms. Henry,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
yes.
Ms. King.
Yes. Like, Commissioner Henry, you had some,
Yeah, I have some,
On the art.
concerns on the, art claims. Ed, could you give me more detail on all those claims?
Sure.
Can we, wait on that approval, or how you want to do that?
Ed, do you guys need to pay the bills now, or can we wait until, for 2 weeks and,
I know some of the
and all
vendors
this?
have already inquired.
Can we, let's do this. Can we make a motion to approve them upon our review? Can we do that, John?
Yes, you can.
Okay,
Make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second,
A motion is second. Ed, can you call the roll, please?
Ms. Henry,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
yes.
Ms. King.
Yes. Next, we'll move to public comments. We have Karen Vincent.
She wouldn't be able to make them.
Did she leave?
No, I think, we had a miscommunication, so I think she's coming next.
Okay. And we have Pat from Prevention of Child Abuse Council.
Good morning, and I'm sorry for my awkwardness, just recovering from surgery last week. My name is Pat Garofolo, and I'm a member of the Prevent Child Abuse Council here in Delaware County. My address is 9513 West Thurston Court in Yorktown. I'm here to just inform the council of the work that we've done. Prevent Child Abuse has been in this community and servicing our county since 1995. We're a not-for-profit 501c3, and we are all volunteer. And I'm here to tell you about what we do very briefly because it's been a long meeting and I'm trying my best. First of all, thank you again to all the first responders. They have a very special place in my heart. And I'm here to let you know, as a community, child abuse is 100% preventable. And we've been trying for 30 years. All right? And we need everybody's help in this. We've done a good job. We've informed the public about it, and we're here to support young families. Several of the things that we've done, very briefly, we've worked together and brought together the community to establish the Child Advocacy Center. Prior to that, 27% of interviews of victims were brought to prosecution. After we established and helped establish the Child Advocacy Center, it changed to 85%. I don't have the current day's changes. And I cannot tell you today the number of interviews, but I'm trying to track that down. There's been lots of changes since it occurred. It was established, sorry. We work very closely with law enforcement. We help put together the SANE Nurses program at Ball State with regard to its importance. We wrote a grant for $30,000 to provide a forensic equipped exam room at the hospital. We had a grant for the When I Use, We Both Lose program that addressed pregnant women taking opioids and prescription drugs. And also through that, we've also have a program that we take to the community that has demonstration dolls that are fetal alcohol. Nobody thinks about that affecting in utero, but it does. It affects the brain and has long-term issues. We all recognize what drugs can do, but we have a baby that will show people that. And we have the shaken baby. And we don't realize the amount of violence it takes in order to cause shaken baby. And first responders will recognize what that is. I'm very dedicated to prevent child abuse, and I'd like the community to join me in recognizing that we all have a part in this. We're required by law, if you're an adult, to report suspected child abuse, neglect, or sexual abuse. And I can give you the number today. It's 1-800-800-5556. Just call that. It's not your business after you make that call. It's up to the trained professionals to do that. And that takes me to the last thing. We do help train professionals. We send them to workshops. We have grants for that. April is National Prevent Child Abuse Month. And we have been putting out, does anybody recognize it, our blue pinwheels? Please, if you see them, recognize what they are. And it's our point to encourage families, and that's where we're focusing on today in our efforts, is to make this a safe and healthy place for families and particularly children to thrive. You don't recognize the financial impact economically. It's not just the child itself, the medical, law enforcement's cost, all of that, legal, when they're taking anybody through, all of these things, it's over $9 billion nationally. But it's the lifelong scars that leave, that have to be tended to in the workplace. That's absenteeism, anger issues, mental health, physical problems, diabetes, high blood pressure. All of those things are leftovers that keep coming. I'm here to thank the county commissioners for their continued support in the past. And I'm hoping the office has been opened up so that I can provide you with the pinwheels that you requested. If not, I will make sure you get them. And thank you for the time.
Thank you.
And if anyone has a business or a yard on a main thoroughfare, please see her after the meeting. She will get you a sign and some pinwheels for your business or your yard. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
If I could speak for a moment on behalf of the Delaware County Fair Board, in conjunction with the April 8th eclipse, we have the fairgrounds will be open. We have camping available. There will be vendors in Heartland Hall. Martha Danner is coordinating all of that. And that will be open on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I believe those hours are 10 to 6. If you're concerned about the traffic, bring your camper, come out. Campsites are available for reservation through a website called CampSpot. And then you can just hang out and wait until it dies down and do it at your leisure. So, but we will be open. There will be a booth there in Heartland Hall that has official eclipse merchandise. There will be some limited entertainment. You also have access to Minnetrista within walking distance from the fairgrounds. So feel free to get on CampSpot, make a reservation, and come out and spend the weekend with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we can't forget about Farm Fest.
Yeah,
Yes, Farm Fest is this week, Tuesday and Wednesday. Thank you.
morning, noon, and night, come and eat. Thank you.
If that was it, I'll entertain a motion to recess.
So move. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Go to recess.
Commissioners, I sent that resolution